Today I have Coach Brown, head coach of Tunstall High School. Thanks for coming on, Coach.
Yes, sir. Thanks for having me.
You're welcome. So today, Coach Brown and I, we're going to be talking about some of the really exciting things that he's been working on with game plan and practice script templates. So Coach Brown and I, we originally connected, what was it, Coach, like 2 years ago, just about?
Yes, sir.
And he's been a huge help with developing coach tools. And he's also, as we kind of learned a little bit more about each other, he introduced this concept to me, which I thought was very, very interesting. So, Coach, do you just want to share with the audience a little bit about that? And then from there, we can kind of dive into some more details.
Yeah, absolutely. So, the idea of kind of game planning for me, and kind of what we're going to talk about today kind of happened about 2017 or 18. I was at Oak Grove High School in North Carolina, and basically was just tired of trying to create scripts every day, practice plans every day, then on the weekends, having to create, a lot of different things and not streamlining kind of the process. So for me, I wanted to figure out how to do that very effectively. And so myself, the head coach there, and the defensive coordinator, we kind of talked about it a little bit. And so I kind of came up with a template. And basically what that does is you're able to kind of put all your information as you're game planning in onto one sheet, and then it kind of auto populates for your rest of your week in your scripting, and then it creates your call sheet essentially. And that was something that was big for me, because I was just, I didn't want to create a different call sheet every week. I didn't want to have to go in on Tuesday night, Wednesday night, add to my scripts, things like that. So basically it's a one-stop shop that you can kind of create on the weekends. If you're a high school coach, college coaches, as the week goes on, we kind of add to that, and then it streamlines your entire week. And so, you get to a Friday or a Saturday night, and you're able to run plays that you've actually practiced, because I think a lot of guys can say sometimes they're guilty of, a lot of cool ideas that they maybe, don't practice, and they try to run on a Thursday or a Friday or a Saturday, or, vice versa. They run something all week, but they don't put it on their call sheet, or, things of that nature. And so this process kind of eliminates those types of things, and just, helps you streamline and just be more efficient when you're game planning. So I'm going to show you the offensive and the defensive templates, and kind of the process that I go through for this, and just kind of, the things that I think makes it, pretty valuable, as an offensive or a defensive coach. And again, throughout the game planning process, you can, do as much, as you want, or as little as you want. That just kind of depends on your circumstances. I know a lot of high school guys run different systems to where, they're kind of limited in what they do week to week. And I think this helps out as well. For guys that are kind of creating new things week to week as well, I think this, might help organize as well. So I'm going to show you some basic features that is on the template that's available through Coach Tools. And, again, if you've got any questions or anything like that, or have any suggestions, speak up to me. We'll definitely talk about it. So what you have here is you have an all play sheet. And I have this on Excel, to download. I like uploading it to Google Sheets, because then, your entire staff can have this to view and kind of edit throughout the week. But in this all plays, you're going to find everything you need to add to your call sheet and your daily scripts for the entire week, and it's done. So this is the only sheet that you're really going to edit. There's going to be features on the scripts that you can edit as well, but this is really the main thing you edit, and everything else is going to auto populate. So what you have here on the left is you have calls by down and distance from an offensive perspective. So whether you're looking at first down, second down, and those different down and distances, or distances, third down, those distances, and then any fourth down calls you have. In the middle is calls by field position. So your openers that you might have, black zone, red zone, gold zone, your 2-point situation, and then 2-minute calls, and then any specials or wrinkles that you might have. And then over here on the far side, you have your top runs and your top passes. And that's what I use for any inside periods or any scaly periods. I think it's pretty cool to have on there, just so that you can maybe focus on, maybe some different passes that you're bringing in this week with motions, with new formations, same thing with runs. But it kind of streamlines your top things so that when you go to those routes on air or scaly periods, or inside run, cowboy periods, whatever it might be, you have those calls. So the rest of this document is going to have your call sheet. All right. And this is what it's going to look like with your openers, your different situations, and then your plays by down and distance. And this is something you will not edit. The only thing you'll be able to edit right here is your play progression. And my thought behind that is you're going to have a basic formation and you want to have a base run, maybe a run with motion or an RPO, and then maybe a play action off of that. So you're kind of building that menu to streamline. So in a game, you can kind of check these things off as you're making calls. We've got a notes section to put on the back of your call sheet. And then what I've done and this is set up from a high school perspective where you're playing on a Friday night. So Monday's practice, what I've got is where you kind of focus on second down calls in your team period. So the way I've got it set up is it's going to auto-populate your short calls, then you'll work a medium call, then you'll work a long down and distance call, and then back to short, medium, long. So you've got 12 calls there, and you're kind of working this in the flow of a game. I think that's really important from a play calling perspective is that, yes, I think scripts are very important. Obviously I'm presenting on one today, but you don't want to be a robot in practice to where in a game, you're not getting that feel. So I think this kind of does a good job of finding a happy medium between the two. You've got an inside period, routes on air, skelly. You're going to work your first 6 openers. You're going to work 6 red zone calls from the +11 to the 25, and then inside the 10, just calling that the gold zone. And then I've got a little section on here for your JV team period, if that's something you're working. Now, obviously, every staff is different. Some are split staff, some don't have enough to have a JV, at the high school level, but that just gives you this part you can actually edit as you go out. So Tuesday is very similar, except for you're working third down calls on Tuesday. So again, short down and distance, medium, long, and again, try to help you get in the flow of those things. And then on Wednesday, you're going to play it out. So I have kind of a play it out situation where you're going to work your first call is going to be a second and medium call. And then whatever the result of that play is what you're going to look at for your third down call. So say, for example, and we can get into this more as we get going. Say, for example, your first second down play, 2nd and 5 gets you to 3rd and 1. Then you're going to look on your 3rd and short script. You're going to make that call. So again, kind of a play it out situation that's going to kind of simulate a game. All right. On Wednesday, I've got a 2-minute situation as opposed to your openers. So you've already worked those 12 openers. Again, going over red zone, gold zone, and then a JV team period. I think that the red zone is the most important part on the football field. Getting down there and getting touchdowns is very important from an offensive perspective. So I think that's why it's critical to work all week long. And then I've got on here a walkthrough period for your Thursday. So you go through all 12 openers. Again, your red zone, gold zone period, spots on the field, and then your 2-point plays and any specials or wrinkles that you have. And again, these daily scripts are not subject, to just these days. You can obviously mix these up, or if you contact me, I'll be glad to kind of personalize those for your needs. But that's kind of how, I've got this set up. And so looking at how this works, kind of the meat and potatoes of it, what I've got here is just some sample calls that I'm just going to kind of show you how this works. So I'm going to copy and paste this in. And again, what I do is I like to do this on Saturday, Sunday type thing to where this is all done before practice starts. So right here, I filled in, second down calls. I'm going to take this down here to medium and long calls so that now this is already in. And what you're going to do is you're going to look at your call sheet, and in your call sheet, it's already divided up the plays. So Once you type this in one time, it's now going to auto populate to the rest of your Excel file, your Google Sheet, whatever it is. And now it's on your call sheet, just like you had it out there. And then on Monday, it's already separated those for your team periods. So, I think this is the kind of the cool feature to this is you type it in once and it's done for the week, and it kind of ensures that you practice it. And then Wednesday, your play it out period. All right. Those second medium calls that I had copied over, there they are. All right. So I'm just going to kind of take this, all right, to the rest of our situations. And again, these are just purely hypothetical calls from an offensive perspective that you might have. This is going to be customized. And the good thing about this is, like what I like to do is put it on a Google, make it a Google Sheet and then copy this week to week. All right. Copy a blank one so that each week, all right, you can copy and paste over things you've had in previous weeks and then add new things that you have. So you're not creating everything from scratch every week. So those are your plays by down and distance. All right. Go ahead and fill in the first down stuff. So now when you look at the call sheet, all right, all those things that I've copied and pasted over are going to be there. All right. Your second down calls. All right. Now the third down calls are on there. And then the play it out situations are there. All right. So again, those are all the depth by down and distance things that we've got on there. And again, you can change the situations based on what you want to do. So say, for example, you wanted to make this call, all right, 10 plus. You can edit it right here on the all plays section. All right. So that's kind of the 12th call on my second down. And there it is right there. So you can kind of customize that portion of it. Say you want to work a different situation. There it is for your weekly, daily scripts. So again, kind of see how this works. I'll copy and paste this over to our openers. And while I'm doing this, Justin, do you have anything specific you wanted to ask or point out when we're doing, while I'm doing this?
Yeah, I think from a coach's perspective, I mean, this just seems like it just saves a lot of time so that you don't have to go and build out just kind of what I've been doing with Coach Tools, so you don't have to do the little tedious tasks. So it's like anything you can do to optimize your workflow and just make it faster, is why I wanted to do this with you, because it really makes a lot of sense.
Absolutely. Yeah. And that was the big thing for me, honestly, was how could I utilize my time better? As a high school teacher and coaching, I was a sped teacher when I, created this. So I'm in and out of classrooms all day long. We called plays on Thursday night as well as Friday. So, I just got really tired of creating a new call sheet every single week and trying to tweak that. I like for things to visually look good as well. And so, some of that stuff was bothering me as well. And it was just tedious. And, along with Coach Tools and kind of creating, showing tendencies, showing grading of players and things of that nature, depth charts. I think it kind of goes hand in hand with this, as you're looking to streamline your process. So again, those are all the things that I've filled out. And again, these are just hypothetical calls. But as you can see, your call sheet is done as you're creating your game plan. So this is something that as you're making notes, on a Saturday, a Sunday, whenever you're doing your game plan as a high school coach, you're making notes to say, okay, these are some openers that I want to call. You type those in, it's on your call sheet. So you don't have to worry about that throughout the week. And then, as you're looking at creating, your top plays, your top runs, top passes, things you want to focus on throughout the week. All right. You're able to do from a run or even a pass perspective. And these are any notes that you might want to add. Say you have a specific player that you want to sub in during this time, you can, whether it be a different cadence that you want to work on, you can do that as well. And again, these are just things, basic columns that I've got on here: hash, personnel, formation, motion and play, form, front blitz, coverage and note, obviously very generic things. but these are things that I use throughout my week. So just kind of taking a look at your daily scripts. Like I said, they're already done. So this is something you're not having to do throughout the week. And, obviously there's going to be things that you want to change. Say on Monday, something doesn't work like you want it to, or look like you want it to, you can scratch that, go back to your all plays, say you didn't like that doubles counter play. All right. Or you didn't like going zone right. All right. Then you go back to your your Wednesday script. And now those calls are off of there. So, again, that's just kind of why I think this is a very valuable tool for coaches. And then when you get to your walkthrough, these are all the important things you can focus on going forward. So again, this is kind of my offensive one. Anything else before I kind of jump to the defensive one?
No, I think you hit everything, Coach. Thank you.
Right, good deal. Well, we'll take a peek to the defensive one. And again, it works the exact same way, where you have kind of an all plays portion, and then it's going to auto populate to your call sheet. And now the defensive one, again, like I said, I kind of, put this together with the input of a defensive coach that I worked with, one of my best friends, and then the head coach at the time. And the guy that I worked with as a defensive coordinator, he was very tendency based, very tendency heavy. Basically, when this team's on the left hash, what formations do they jump in? Where do they try to run? Do they try to run back to the field, to the boundary? And so he actually created, like a huddle report that kind of helped him out week to week. And that's what he ran after he inputted all the data from huddle, downloaded that report, and it took it straight to this call sheet. So, we'll jump to that. Let me copy this over. And again, we can look. We'll have to screen share this again. Defensive. All right. Let's see. Can you see this right here?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so this is the defensive template, and again, works the exact same as the offensive one. Again, obviously defensive coaches, maybe a little bit more tendency based. Some guys like to stare at a call sheet, others don't. But again, if this is what you like to do, then again, I think this will help. So again, your all plays part. So what we basically got right here on the left-hand column are tendencies based on down and distance. So, for example, let's say the distance is, let's say 10 or plus 10. So maybe some sort of penalty to get the drive started. All right. On 1st and 10, you're looking at this team maybe as a heavy run team. All right. And we can say power is their favorite play. All right. On 1st down. And then anything that might be longer. All right. We'll say greater than 10. All right. They're going to be more of a more balanced look. We'll say 40, 60. All right. And we're looking for maybe shallow. Again, those are hypothetical things. All right. When you go to your call sheet, all right, it's going to have this on here for you. So when you're looking down, or maybe you've got somebody in the box that's got your call sheet for you, hey, coach, 1st and 10, obviously these guys are a heavy run team. All right. And you're going to know that throughout the week. And I think where it comes in handy is when you're looking at maybe more on your 2nd down stuff. So we'll say short, medium, long. And again, you can customize this. So I'm just putting these things in generically. You can use numerical values. You can use, some type of verbal cue that helps you. All right. 2nd and short, maybe they're a big shot team. So they're going to maybe go 15%, 85% pass, look for a shot. All right. 50-50 on 2nd medium. And then 2nd long, they're trying to get back to the stick. So we'll say 25% run, 75% pass. And we're looking for zone. We'll say wide zone. All right. So then when you go to your call sheet, it's already built in for you. All right. So that's the basic thought process behind the tendency part over there on the left. Okay. All right. Now looking at this from a field position standpoint. So a lot of, high school is a lot different because of the hashes. Hashes are wider. That kind of plays into the hands for some teams. Some teams like to be, very formation in the boundary heavy, like to run to the short side of the field or get you to the short side and then run the ball to the field or throw the ball to the field. So we've got on here left hash, middle of the field, and then right hash tendencies, red zone, and then any goal line tendencies that they like to have. So I'm just going to fill in some generic things right here. We'll say pro, spread, trips. And again, these are just basic things. All right. So on the left hash, all right, maybe my huddle report tells me, or some of the things that I look at tell me that at a pro, on the left hash, they're going to be heavy run. All right. They're going to be heavy run. So 65, 35, and they're going to like to run back to the field or to the right. All right. And we can expect, let's say OZ. All right. So then my base call as a defensive coach, maybe we like to be in over. All right. And then maybe our cover 3 look is just 3. Again, basic generic things I'm just putting in. And then maybe my pressure call is Mike, go. All right. So let's say at a spread, all right, they're going to be more pass heavy. So we'll say 50-50. All right. They like to run back to the boundary. All right. We can expect, let's say bubble or IZ. And then my base call against this might be over and then maybe quarters. And then out of trips, maybe let's say they are pass heavy. So we'll say 25, 75. All right. Direction back to the field with the throw. We can expect 4 verts. And my base call in this situation might be jump into some sort of 3-4 look. And my pressure call might be Sam will go. So I'm going to kind of copy these down for you. Again, generic calls, just to kind of show you the purpose of the call sheet and the daily scripts, just like on the offensive one. All right. So when you look at the call sheet now, all right, it's built in here on the left hash. All right. Those are things to expect. Those are the things you might want to call throughout the night. Middle of the field, right hash. And again, what we've got on here is the direction. All right. Kind of color coded, as well as a runner pass. I like things color. I'm a very visual person, so that kind of helps me out. And again, you're taking things straight from your game planning portion to your Thursday night, your Friday night, your Saturday, whatever call sheet for on game day. All right. And then looking at your scripts. All right. So for example, Monday's got your red zone and goal line things to expect, and we can go in here and fill in your team stuff. So that's going to be right here. So right here, let's say we're going left, middle, right hash. All right. And we're going to just kind of alternate that. And we're looking for pro and what to expect, OZ. And that's the call that I want to use. All right. We'll go spread and trips. And over, let's say over 2 man. All right. So I'm going to copy these things down just so you guys can see them. All right. Now, when you look at your scripts, all right, you're looking at long down and distance. All right. On Monday, or, you could flip this around and make this short down and distance if you want to be a heavy tackle team earlier in the week or later in the week, whatever you want to, do. All right. So that's already built in. Again, it's kind of like a call it out situation. You're going to have your opener. All right. Call against an opener. All right. Second and long, third and long, and then a pressure call. So it kind of helps you get into the rhythm of the game based on down and distance. Tuesday, your medium calls, same type of situation set up. Wednesday is going to be short, or again, like long, if you want to make it that. All right. and we are going to focus on red zone and goal line every day. Obviously, when you get to Wednesday or later in the week, you might not want to be tackling fully to the ground, but again, it gives you a chance to work on these things. All right. And then your walkthrough, you're going to go through your top 15. Maybe you're a play it out team where you're going to work a kickoff. Say the defense goes out for 3 plays, you bring out punt return, so on and so forth. I think this is a good way to help you kind of get into the feel of calling it out. But again, this is what your call sheet can look like. And again, through Coach Tools, we're offering this. I know he's going to talk about that a little bit, but very open to kind of customizing this the way you want to look at it. Because again, every coach is different, every system's different, every school situation's different. But again, I just think this is a really cool tool that, can kind of streamline everything and kind of cut out everything. So, I got kind of long winded, but is there anything that you kind of wanted to touch on, Coach, with this type of stuff?
Yeah. You hit on all the major points, Coach. I think just the takeaways from this is that our goal with doing this is to, like you said, make it faster and increase coaches' efficiency throughout the week, especially if you're a high school coach who's in the classroom for most of the day. So that's our goal with Coach Tools and the game planning templates that Coach Brown's put together. So really excited to roll this out, and like Coach Brown was saying, this is all customizable. So anything that you want to add in, or any suggestions or feedback that you might have, just let us know. You can reach out to me, Coach Brown, and all of that information is going to be in the description for the YouTube link. So, Coach Brown, is there anything else you wanted to go over?
No, I'm pretty good with this. I feel confident about, what we talked about today. And again, like he touched on, all these are customizable, and I've got basic scripts that you can use for the summer as well, where you don't have a call sheet at the end of the, week to work on to kind of help you, as well. Defensive coaches can definitely tailor it to your needs and stuff like that. But, like he kind of touched on, I'm excited about the future of Coach Tools and kind of where, those guys are going with the whole, roster development and grading portion of that, because that's something you don't really think about. But if you're taking seriously playing the best players and stuff like that, that data is very important. Just like, the data that I talked about today that, that kind of helps you make calls, on game day. You've got to be able to evaluate your personnel throughout the week, regardless of the type of school or organized, program that you're running. So again, just very excited about where we're going with this stuff.
Yeah, 100% agree. So, well, Coach, always a pleasure. Thanks again for coming on, and thank you all for watching.
Yes, sir. Thank you. Appreciate it.